find the measure of the angle. So the supplement of an angle is 24 degrees in measure, is 24 degrees greater in measure than twice the complement of the angle. So there's a couple words in here that are important for us to understand before we can even begin, right? We need to know what a supplement is and what a complement is. So if you can remember what either, let's say, do you know what supplementary angles are? If you know the answer, go ahead and type it in the chat for me. Let's see if we got some people that can remember what supplementary means. That was last year, right? So it should be relatively fresh. Good. Good. So a couple of you put in there angles that add up to 180 degrees. Awesome. Good. So then what's complementary? Awesome. Good. Angles that add up to 90. So here's what I know, and visually you might want to draw a picture. I mean, sometimes that's a great problem solving strategy. You draw a picture and you ask yourself, does this picture help? So I am so sorry. You hear my dog in the background? There's a squirrel climbing up the bird feeder, and my dog is very upset by that fact. So I apologize that you hear him in the background. I'm trying to get him to stop, but he doesn't want to listen to me. So we have, let me pull that up again here. Two angles. One of them, let's do two sets of angles here. Okay. So one is a pair of complementary angles, and one of them is going to be a pair of supplementary angles. Okay, so we have some angle, right? I don't know what that angle is, but that's what, if you're looking at, I don't have it up on my screen anymore, when it says the supplement of an angle, our goal is to figure out what the measure of that angle is. That's our unknown. So I'm just going to call that, we'll call it X. I don't like pink. It's hard to see. Let me try this. That's a little bit better. Now what I know is that X shows up in both the supplement situation and in the complementary situation. So if we have X here, we know that we have two places where X shows up, right? Now we have that first pair of angles, which is our supplementary pair of angles. And I'm going to think about the fact that I'm told that the supplement of this angle, well, that's referring to this angle over here, is 24 degrees greater in measure than twice the complement of the angle. Okay, well, that's interesting, right? Because in order to write an expression for this angle, I've got to think about a way to write an expression for this angle. So if I'm going to say, I don't know what this complement is either, I'm just going to pick another variable. I'm going to call it y. Okay, if I don't know what it is, I can just give it a name, give it another variable. We don't want to use x again because we've already used x to represent something. But now what I know is that this angle will be 2 times this angle and then plus 24. So the complement will be the supplement will be 2 times the complement plus 24. Now that's great. I've got this picture. I've got a way to represent both parts of that situation, but I still don't have a way to solve. So if you think you know how we can set something up from here, just type an exclamation point in the chat. And I may have you share then. If you have an idea of what we can do from here to set something up that'll help us actually figure out what x and y are, just type an exclamation point in the chat. And if you have no idea, type a question mark, because I just kind of want to see where you guys are one way or the other. So either you have no idea what to do or you have some idea of what you could do. So either a question mark or an exclamation point in the chat, and we'll see what we got here. I'm seeing lots of question marks. Oh, Aubrey. Aubrey thinks she might have an idea. Sam thinks he might have an idea. Go ahead, Aubrey. Tell me what you think. 2i. Oh, that's interesting. I did not think that's the direction you were going to go with that. That's good. I actually think I'm trying to think of what the answer is, and I don't remember it off the top of my head. I'm going to put a pin in that one because I kind of like it and it might work, but I think it should work. But I want to see if anybody else has any other ideas. And then Jillian, or Jill, I'm sorry, you go by Jill. You said maybe as well. What do you think? That's okay. Go for it. I'll erase it. It's okay. I want you to just tell me what it is. I have a hard time hearing and understanding what you're saying. So this is more for me than anything else. Are you sure? Jill lost her confidence. It's okay. All right. I thought there was. Oh, Sam, you had an exclamation point. What do you think? I skipped over you. I'm sorry. Okay. Tell me what you did. So 2 times 90 minus x. Okay. I'm going to need more space, aren't I? Okay. Interesting. Yeah. What'd you get for x? Okay. And that's what we're going to get up here as well. Okay. So awesome. So he kind of took this as trying to write it in one variable. And we could do that pretty easily if I, instead of writing y here, I wrote the fact that I know that the complement means that the two angles add up to 90. I just have to say, well, whatever's left out of 90 when I take away that x is the same thing as that angle. So that is basically what he ended up doing there. Awesome. Anybody else have a strategy that they think would work? So, Drew, you had said maybe. Do you want to give it a shot? He changed his mind. Zoo, you had a maybe in there too. Equals 180. Okay, so I see. Gotcha. So you wrote x in terms of y, kind of like what I was saying Sam did a moment ago. Instead of writing, it's great. That's awesome. He took this and just wrote it as 90 minus y, because again, it's a way of saying, if y is 30 degrees, then we know we can find out what x is by just subtracting 30 from 90 because it's a complementary angle. So he took a way to rewrite that expression and then put it in the other expression here, and then knew that those two angles had to add up to 180. Yeah, good. So and this should give you that x is 24 as well. So there's what I'm trying to help you see here, and this is the whole point of this exercise. It's not to just belabor the point. It's to say there are multiple ways that we could all come to the same solution. Probably what I would have done, and I think what I would have done is probably going to make things harder than what you guys would have done. is I would have set up a system of equations. So if I go back, and doesn't make it any better. I mean, I think you guys all came up with ways that'll get you a solution much faster, or actually you sort of set up a system of equations, but really skipped that step. I would have taken 2y plus 24 plus x, and I would have said that's 180 degrees. And then I would have said y plus x is 90 degrees. And then I would have solved for y or solved for x and substituted it in. And that's exactly what kind of happened here and here. That's the result of substituting in after finding that or setting up that system of equations. No, found any way is fine. I don't care. And that's what I'm trying to show you here is any one of those ways would have worked. But we all would have come up with the same end, and that is that the angle that we're looking for is 24. So the angle is 24 degrees.